Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful day at the Homeful Homestead. Today, I'm going to be finishing up a few of these boxes that I started on another video. They're gardening boxes. And so let's get started. So what we're going to start is I got some siding here. And if you've seen the last video, you see that I had quite a few sheets of this siding. It was about 3 foot tall and a few different lengths, anywhere from 3 feet to 18 feet I had. So I took these 3 footers and I cut them down to 1 foot. And that's what I have here is my pile of 1 footers. And I'm going to put those together all as boxes now. They'll be 1 foot tall, so many feet long, however long I wish, by a couple feet wide so that we don't have to walk through it. We got to be able to reach in it. So let me pull apart what we have and we'll see what box I want to put together first. So right off the top, it looks like I got a couple 4 footers maybe there. And I believe these are 18. There's 3 in each pile because, like I said, I cut 3 pieces out of each one. So I think the first one I'm going to build is this longer one here, 18 foot by whatever that may be. That'll be a pretty good size box, and she's going to like that. So let's get started on that now. Here on our channel, we'd like to try to reuse because not a lot of people have land or the money to run out and buy treated wood or fencing or anything like that. But there's always a way around. I mean, because it's just gardens and things of that nature. You can always find material. Like I've said before, this material was given to me. People know I keep material. They know I've done it for years now. And so when they have material, I get calls. Hey, do you want to come get this? So when you start collecting material and letting people know that you do that, you'll get your phone calls. This here that I have, this was all pallets. The wife Lisa was working with it with pallets, and she had a bunch left over, and so I took the pallet pieces. I didn't go buy new wood. This is all a pallet piece in my saw, just getting it all cut up. There's a few pieces in here with nails, but I'm not too worried about that. I can just cut them off, move them out the way. So, like I said, what I got here, I really haven't spent much money at all. I have to buy screws, of course, but I mean, when there's a will, there's a way. So let's get these going. I just wanted to mention that. These are going to be my end pieces, and you can see that they're cut down here, and you're going to have kind of a sharp edge. Yeah, see, there's the actual piece where they're cut. So this is a nice smooth cut. This is original factory cut. This has got a little, look at that. I'm gonna clean all that up so that you don't get yourself, so that the wife or myself or my grandchildren don't get cut. So I have to clean one side of it. Well, see, there's 2 sides. So one side can go down in the ground, which you ain't got to worry about, but you're going to have to clean the other side. As for this one, I won't need to clean it because I'll put that side in the ground and this side's already smooth. You do that to this one, and you're going to cut yourself pretty good. So let's get some holes in this. Let's get some boards in it. Let's get this rough edge cleaned up. Let's get this box built. That's enough talking for me. I couldn't do that before. Now I can rub my fingers across it. Go ahead. Now I would just ask the question, what if I don't have an angle grinder? The best way to go about it after that is probably a file. I would think, you take a file because a file would be a lot faster than sandpaper. You might have some pretty good pieces of metal through there that'll rip that sandpaper up at first if you try to rub right across it with paper. I would take a file to it first and take your rough edges off on both sides, and then I'd take your sandpaper and probably clean it down a little bit. A rough sandpaper, I'm not really sure. I don't use sandpaper for that. I've always had the power tools to do it, but you can take a file and clean it for sure. That I know. I've cleaned quite a few burrs before with files. You can go right in my garage or second drawer. You can find a file at your local hardware store, or probably your dad or your father-in-law might even have. He said we're gonna find the file. The blade gets real hot. Keeps it cool. All right, we've got our pieces cut. We've got them cleaned up, free of any burrs. They're going to give you any cuts. Next is I'm going to put these blocks of wood that I cut. They're about a foot long. Some, I didn't measure them all perfect, but they're all about a foot long, and they should reach from hole to hole. I'm going to edge them up like that. I'm going to drop a screw in it, and then your other short wall is going to go up against this side, and that's just your corner post. So let's go ahead and get this first one screwed in. I had these holes over here, but I wasn't sure how wide my board was going to be. Not the best screws to use. I'm going to recommend something galvanized, something for outdoors. These aren't outdoor screws. So I might eventually have to be replacing screws. It won't be next month or anything, but probably in about a couple years, they're going to look pretty rusted. But if you buy the right screws, they won't rust on you. That is the bottom, so we'll make sure the board is level with the bottom here. And there's your first one. They're sturdy because of the bends in it. Won't have to worry about them flopping anywhere. I think this is going to turn out pretty good. So I brought it in here in my garage because this is the flattest ground that I have. Because if I try to build this, put this corner together on the ground, and my ground is higher than the other side, then it'll end up getting built crooked like that. So my garage floor is probably the best bet. All right, so I'm gonna put my corners together now. Smooth side up, of course, on all of them so that nobody gets hurt. Nice and straight now instead of compared to being on the ground. We have 5 foot. I didn't realize they were 5. I thought they were about 4. And I believe it's like 18. This is one of my longer pieces. 18 feet exactly. So we got a 5 by 18, and usually you need a foot or two in between plants. You can almost fit 3 rows down here, depending on what you're growing. So here's her first box. This is one of many. I'm not sure exactly what size she wants, but she can always divide this too. We're talking about maybe putting more walls in between, separate more plants. We'll see how it goes. So that's one done. That's a 5 by 18. I've decided to build 2 more 5 by 18s. We'll have quite a few smaller ones, but I'm going to go ahead and get the next 2 done. It'll be exactly like this one. So I've got all my tools, everything already pulled out, so it should go a lot faster. So let me knock these out. So there we are. We got 3 of them done. I got quite a few more to build, but you kind of get the picture of what I'm doing now. We're gonna get the garden all tilled up, everything like that, get it ready, and we're gonna place these in there along with quite a few more. And they're gonna go probably about a good 4 inches in the ground, I'm guessing. We're gonna bury them just a little bit, so they're not gonna be as tall as what you see here, because I'm really not trying to do a raised garden. But I mean, that's what she's telling me. We'll see how it all works out. We're learning ourselves. Remember that. For those of you who've watched a few videos, you know this is Bear. He's the one that helped me out picking up the other side of it, bringing it out here, moving the camera around. So I just want to give a shout out to Bear, right? Yeah, he's pretty tired. He's been working all day with me. All right. Thanks for joining us, and I hope we see you on the next video. Thanks a lot. Want to shake your hand, Paul? Sit. Sit. Paul. Sit. Paul. Paul. Paul.
Desiree said, I can do it, Daddy.
Paul. Good girl. He's like, move on.
Right through my berry patch.
You did the old switcheroo on her.